The nation's capital as the fans make their way in Nationals Park as Fox Saturday Baseball presents the Chicago White Sox against the Washington Nationals. And welcome, everyone, on a hot, humid, but pleasant day. Dick Stockton along with Bert Blyleven, and, of course, the talk in Washington and around Major League Baseball is Steven Strasburg, who last night was impressive in his third start. But the Nationals have now dropped 4 in a row. Meanwhile, the White Sox, Bert, going the other way. They have won 4 in a row, perhaps playing their best ball of the season.
Yeah, the big thing for the Chicago White Sox, they're trying to get back into the Central Division. They're 2 games under 500. They're trying to catch the Tigers, who are red hot. They've won 7 straight. Still, the Minnesota Twins are leading that division.
So the Chicago White Sox turning it on when they needed to, and they want to make it 2 in a row against the Nationals on the road. Fox Saturday Baseball from D.C. coming up in just a moment. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. Juan Pierre will be in left field leading off. Omar Vizquel will be at third. Mark Kotze batting third at first base. Andrew Jones will be in center field. Carlos Quentin will be the right fielder. A.J. Pierzynski behind the plate. Alexei Ramirez at shortstop. Gordon Beckham will be at second base. And Jake Peavy will hit ninth on the mound for the White Sox. And this game is brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of the first inning. The beer that starts with full flavor and ends with a crisp, clean finish. Budweiser, it's what we do. And on the mound, J.D. Martin making his 4th start, coming in 0-2 on the year, Bert.
Yeah, the Sprint pitcher profile on J.D. Martin. You know, pitching's in his family. His dad, John Martin, pitched minor league baseball for the Yankees and the Angels back in the late 60s. He's got a brother, Kevin, who spent 3 years in a minor league system for the Cleveland Indians. He's a right-handed pitcher, not overpowering, not like Strasburg. Okay, he's a finesse-type pitcher. He's got to work both sides of the plate, work ahead in the count. Only 1 walk in 19 1/3 innings so far for J.D. Martin.
Giving up 5 home runs in his 3 starts. 1-0 count to Pierre is outside and looking for the bunt. Ryan Zimmerman is playing in at third base. And take a look at J.D. Martin's numbers. He's given up 5 homers in 19 innings.
Well, this is not the way to start, Dick, right here, because you see the 1 walk in 19 and a third, and this is the last guy you want to walk is Juan Pierre. You want him to make him swing the bat. This guy's leading the American League in stolen bases, and he's kind of the guy that kind of gets the offense going for the Chicago White Sox. Martin making his 4th start of the year since being called up from AAA. This is his 2nd season with the Nationals. Got called up last year in July, stayed in a rotation, won 5 ball games and 15 starts.
Here's the 3-2 pitch, and a ground ball hit to the right side. Christian Guzman throws out Pierre, and there's 1 gone in the White Sox first inning. And that will bring up Omar Vizquel, and Vizquel, the 43-year-old veteran. And coming into play at third base when Mark Teahen went on the disabled list with a broken finger. And, of course, the White Sox brought up Diane Viciedo, who's going to see a lot of action at third base as well. He is with the club and will play tomorrow. And the first pitch to Vizquel, a switch hitter, is down low, ball 1. Omar hitting .250 with a homer and 12 runs batted in.
Yeah, he's always been a very good hitter. You know, he's hitting .250, career .273 hitter coming into his 22nd Major League season.
And he had the only extra base hit last night for the White Sox. He had a 2-bagger.
Yeah, that was in the first inning off of Strasburg, just down one of those little duck things right down the right field line.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Vizquel with Mark Kotsay on deck for Chicago. And the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, the Angels defeated the Cubs 12-0 at Wrigley Field today. Home runs by Torrey Hunter and Howie Kendrick sparking the Angels. And the Cubs limited to 2 hits.
The Angels just trying to stay in that race with the Texas Rangers. Rangers have won 3 straight. 5 straight.
Full count to Vizquel. So J.D. Martin, John Dale Martin, 27-year-old from Ridgecrest, California, goes to the full count on the first 2 hitters and a base hit to center field for Vizquel. And the White Sox have their first base runner and the first hit of the game. And here's today's defensive alignment for the Nationals, brought to you by Scott's. In the outfield, Josh Willingham, Niger Morgan, and Roger Bernardina. Ryan Zimmerman, Ian Desmond, Christian Guzman, and Adam Quinn in the infield. And the battery, Martin on the mound and Pudge Rodriguez behind the plate. And you couldn't ask for a better catcher than the veteran Ivan Rodriguez.
He's a guy, and Omar Vizquel knows all about him. You know, you might want to try to steal second, but Rodriguez, a catcher that will throw behind the runner sometimes. Martin will try to utilize that slide step.
Kotsay has been struggling, and the pitch is outside. So today, Ozzie Guillen going a lot of struggling hitters. He has Kotsay, Andrew Jones, and Carlos Quentin in the lineup as Paul Konerko and Alex Rios start this game on the bench. You're looking at a total of 30 homers and 83 runs batted in. Not in the lineup for the White Sox today. A ground ball to the right side. Guzman goes the force at second, and that's all. So Kotsay becomes the base runner. 2 out for the White Sox in the first.
That's a Chicago White Sox offense, currently 12th in the American League and hitting at .245.
And that brings up Andrew Jones. Andrew Jones hitting .207 with 10 homers and 22 runs batted in.
And you see the low average right there, and Andrew Jones just 4 for his last 42 at-bats. Guy that can generate some power, 10 home runs on the year.
Ball 1 to him. The White Sox have won a season-tying 4 straight games. Their low point was back on June the 8th. They were 9 games under 500, but they have since won 9 of their last 11 games and trying to make a race of it with the 2 strong clubs in the AL Central, the Twins and the Tigers.
Yeah, Jones in his first season with the Chicago White Sox. Of course, 12 seasons with the Braves. Also played for the Dodgers and the Rangers. That bat falling out of the hands of Andrew Jones. Goes back into the screen behind home plate.
Carlos Quentin would be next. There are 2 out, and Kotsay the runner at first. The White Sox winning last night in the series opener 2-1 in 11 innings. But Steven Strasburg setting a major league record. Now 32 strikeouts in his first 3 starts, breaking the record previously held by J.R. Richard, who had 29 back in 1971.
Yeah, that young man Strasburg off to a great start, and really has been a very positive motivation factor why people want to come out here to this Nationals Park. They packed this place last night.
We're going to get a chance to talk to Mike Rizzo, the general manager of the Nationals, throughout the game, and they have quite a future. A lot of people think they're a totally young team, but they've got a lot of veterans in their lineup. And there goes Kotsay, and a late throw to second base, and they're going to get him anyway. Pudge Rodriguez gets Kotsay caught stealing, and that'll do it. There was a hit, nobody left on base. White Sox nothing. Nats coming up. The bun. Niger Morgan leading off. Christian Guzman hitting second. Ryan Zimmerman batting third, and Adam Dunn at cleanup. Josh Willingham followed by Pudge Rodriguez. Roger Bernardina batting seventh. Ian Desmond hitting eighth, and J.D. Martin, the pitcher, batting ninth against Jake Peavy. And Ozzie Guillen very nearly put him on the disabled list. And Peavy is making his 14th start, has had a fluid soreness in the right shoulder.
Yeah, Peavy making his 14th start, looking for his 6th win, 5-5 so far on the year, and the MRI basically revealed there was no structural damage. So Peavy, who was scheduled to work last Thursday, was pushed back a couple days. And a guy that relies on a good sinking fastball when he's on, and then the strikeout pitch is that nasty slider.
And our sprint pitcher profile for Jake Peavy, who told Ozzie Guillen, I'm going to be ready to make my start after missing his turn. Here's Niger Morgan, center fielder, and Morgan swings and misses in the count 1-1, hitting .247 with 9 runs batted in. And if he gets on, he's a threat as well, Bert, as he's tied for 5th in the National League in stolen bases with 14. Shot up the middle and the base hit, and the Nationals have the leadoff man on. Here is today's defensive alignment for the White Sox, brought to you by Scott's. Juan Pierre in left field, Andrew Jones in center, Carlos Quentin in right. The infield, Vizquel, Ramirez, Beckham, and Kotsay, and A.J. Pierzynski catching Jake Peavy.
And Peavy making his first start here at Nationals Park. Now he's making his 10th career start against the Nationals, 2 wins, 4 losses. But he's never pitched here.
And keep in mind, as you see the throw over to first base, that Niger Morgan, amongst the league leaders in stolen bases, also has been caught 10 times, and that leads the major leagues. Bluff to bunt. And the pitch is taken for a ball. And the count 1-0. Christian Guzman hitting .296 with 19 runs batted in, the switch hitter.
Yeah, Guzman in his 6th season with the Nationals. 2-time All-Star, once with the Minnesota Twins, and then once with the Nationals.
Morgan and Guzman hitting 1-2, and actually Morgan has been more effective this year, batting in the 2nd slot, but he got the base hit to start the bottom of the 1st inning for Washington. And there's a drag bunt and a good one. And the throw to first base not in time. Mark Kotsay to Beckham covering not in time. Guzman with a textbook bunt beats it out for a hit. And the Nationals have runners at 1st and 2nd, nobody out.
And that's a mistake right there by the second baseman, Beckham, because he needs to know there's always this possibility right here. See Kotsay coming in, and Beckham late getting over there, and Guzman beats it out. Great bunt. He just takes that ball with him. But Beckham needs to be there for the force out. So a mental mistake right there puts runners at 1st and 2nd and nobody out.
To Ryan Zimmerman, who has been one of the top hitters all the way around in the National League, hitting .295, 13 homers, 36 runs batted in. And Peavy's first pitch is low and away, ball 1. You look at Zimmerman. Dunn and Willingham, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Nationals, have combined for 41 homers this year.
It's a good part of the middle of their lineup, and Zimmerman in his 6th season with the Nationals.
2-0.
The career .284 hitter coming into this year, and you can see since 2005 where he ranks.
33 homers last year, a career high for him. 106 runs batted in. And on the outside corner, 2 balls and a strike to Ryan Zimmerman. Nationals are 6 games under 500 for the first time this year. They were 20-15 at one point, but they have faltered as of late, even with Strasburg on the scene. And reaching for that one, Zimmerman misses, and it's 2-2.
That's that slider right there, Peavy. That's his strikeout pitch. Very good hard break on this. A.J. Pierzynski sits away, and you can see the drop on that slider.
So Peavy against Zimmerman, and the Nationals threaten here in the bottom of the 1st with runners at 1st and 2nd and nobody out. Adam Dunn is on deck. Peavy wants Pierzynski to go through the signs again. And the pitch misses in the dirt, no advance, and a full count here. Peavy was scheduled to start Thursday, was moved back. He has not thrown a baseball since his victory over the Cubs last Friday at Wrigley Field, and he said coming into today's game, I'm not going to use my problems as any excuses, and nor do I want a pitch limit. They're the runners.
His last win came against the Cubs, like you mentioned, Dick, and that was with his 100th Major League win. 100 Major League wins, 73 Major League losses for Jake Peavy.
Morgan the lead at 2nd, Guzman at 1st. And Peavy steps off the rubber, and it doesn't seem like he's in much of a rhythm yet, Bert.
Not yet. You know what? If you want to get a guy like Jake Peavy, you have to get him early. Most good starters, and he's a very good starter, you have to get him early before he gets into a nice little groove.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Strike 3. And Zimmerman goes down. A big out for out number 1.
Let's take a look at pitch by pitch to Zimmerman by Jake Peavy. He was able to, he works that fastball away. See, everything's away, good another pitch away, then it's that hard breaking ball, and then he falls, everything away, and then right here he goes up the ladder right there with a good moving fastball, and that's what Peavy's been able to do over his career when he's healthy. That's get the big strikeout.
And here's Adam Dunn, 2nd in the National League with 16 home runs, 2 on and 1 out. And on the first pitch, lifts it in the air to shallow center field. Coming on in is Andrew Jones. And he'll make the catch for out number 2. So Jake Peavy, after giving up a solid hit and a bunt single to Morgan and Guzman, getting Ryan Zimmerman on a strikeout and the dangerous Adam Dunn. So there are 2 outs to Josh Willingham.
That's an amazing game, Dick, because you know what? You throw 6 pitches in a tough situation to get Zimmerman out, and then the first pitch, you get an out. You know, I mean, that's what you need right there, especially for a starter. That's how you get late in the ball game. Get some early outs. Dunn jumping on that pitch. He's not happy with the results.
So here's Willingham with 12 homers and 40 runs batted in, batting .269, and the first pitch over for a strike. Willingham is second to Albert Pujols in on-base percentage in the National League. First year with the Nationals, came over from the Florida Marlins after spending 5 years with them, and has been a very effective home hitter this year. 2 down, 2 on for the Nationals in the first. 1-1. You see he's third in walks. Pudge Rodriguez waiting for a chance in the on-deck circle. And going around on the swing, fooled a bit was Willingham, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, again, that slider that has a very tight rotation. You think in fastball, in a fastball situation, you could see that ball just drop.
Peavy trying to pitch out of early trouble here in the first inning. Ahead 1-2, and just missed. Close pitch. And the count even 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Peavy, a former Cy Young Award winner when he was with the San Diego Padres in 2007, when he went 19-6 that year in 34 starts. Very good, 2.54 earned run average.
And there goes the runner from second, and a late double steal. And it was Morgan who got the start first, and on a delay, Guzman went to second. So the double steal, and the count runs full, 3 balls, 2 strikes to Willingham.
Well, with the speedsters on, you're going to run against A.J. Pierzynski, but it was off the pitcher right there that Morgan got the jump. And then Christian Guzman kind of has to wait to make sure Morgan takes off before he gets to second base.
So 2 runners in scoring position, and a fly ball hit to center field. And Andrew Jones hardly has to move, and Peavy pitches out of it. The Nationals get the first 2 on base with hits and lead 2 in scoring position. No score after 1. Built for tough, and by Sprint, the Now Network. No score as we move into the second inning on a hot and humid day here in the nation's capital. 89 degrees, humidity 46%. I think they'd enjoy it. The wind was up by about 20 miles an hour, wouldn't you think?
It's a beautiful stadium. The first time I've been here, Dick. Very nice stadium. Talked to a lot of players down there. They like the playing surface. They like the whole atmosphere here.
Andrew Jones, who was at the plate when Kotsay was thrown out attempting to steal in the first inning, takes strike one. And checks the swing, and the count 1-1. Kotsay, one of, or I should say Jones, one of two players from Curacao in our game today. Roger Bernardina, the other one. And a fly ball hit to center field. Niger Morgan is there for out number one. And time now for today's four keys to the game, Bert.
Well, you can see right there the Chicago White Sox, they continue to get quality pitching, and that's one thing that has really enabled them to win 4 ball games and get back into the race. Their pitching staff over the last 10 starts, 9 quality starts. They're 7-1 with a 2.04 ERA. That's the starters. And then for the Washington Nationals, it's a young ball club. They have some veterans on their ball club, but they just have to keep developing.
Comebacker hit by Carlos Quentin, who is retired. And there are 2 down. Quentin has been struggling average-wise, not in runs batted in. So there are 2 down. And A.J. Pierzynski, the White Sox catcher, coming to the plate. And the White Sox starting to get some hitting. That had been the problem earlier in the year. They were last in pitching, last in hitting, and Ozzie Guillen says you're not going to contend with those kind of numbers.
Well, you know what they're doing? They're running the bases a lot better, too. They have 66 stolen bases on the year, and, you know, they've been caught 29 times, so that's a lot of attempts of stealing bases, and this is what Ozzie Guillen has wanted, really, over the last 3 or 4 years.
Here's Pierzynski hitting .233 with 4 homers and 18 runs batted in. And the count is 1-0. White Sox coming in 5.5 games behind the leading Twins in the division, and 5 behind Detroit, who have won 7 in a row. 1-1 the count to Pierzynski.
Well, J.D. Martin, 27 years old, in his second season with the Nationals.
And there's the ball hit to right field. Here's Bernardina, has to take it. And Pierzynski gets the second hit of the game for the White Sox, a 2-out single. Well, want to see your name on the air? Play MLB on Fox. Tune in to win. Now on foxsports.com/tunein. Make your predictions during today's game between the White Sox and Nationals. Better hurry, though, because your predictions must be submitted by the end of this second inning. Stick around to increase your chances of winning with the 7th inning bonus question. Winners will be announced on the air during the 9th inning. So log on to foxsports.com/tunein to play now. Alexei Ramirez taking strike 1. And the White Sox shortstop batting .255. But he's reached base lately. 6 homers and 26 runs driven in.
Yeah, he's starting to get on base. This guy right here from Cuba. He came over. He's in his 3rd season with the Chicago White Sox. Guy that stands right on top of the plate. Tall and thin. 6'2", about 170 pounds. But he can generate some power.
And he's raised his average, Bert, 44 points since early May.
You can see where that right foot is, and the left foot even closer to the plate as he kind of dove into the plate.
And a strikeout. Putting the tag on is Pudge Rodriguez, and that'll do it. 2-out single. Goes by the boards. And we move to the bottom of the second. Still no score. And a crisp, clean finish. It's what we do. Well, the latest in the All-Star balloting as we get ready for the All-Star game, which will be exclusive on Fox. Visit your local Lowe's to cast your Scott's MLB All-Star ballot. Enter for a chance to win a VIP All-Star Week experience. Compliments of Scott's. First pitch is a strike to Pudge Rodriguez.
He's been to a couple All-Star games, only 13 of them. This guy right here, again, having a very good year in his first season with the Nationals. Of course, Rodriguez, he came up at a very young age back in 1991 with the Texas Rangers.
And lines it to right field, but Carlos Quentin is there for out number one. Pudge Rodriguez, who came off the disabled list with a back strain, missed 14 games, and he came off to catch Steven Strasburg's debut against the Pirates right here at Nationals Park.
2,761 career hits for that man right here, Rodriguez.
Well, here's Roger Bernardina. Bernardina hitting .273, 4 homers, 19 runs batted in. Squared the bunt and takes a call strike.
You mentioned that Andrew Jones and Bernardina, both from Curacao, Netherlands Antilles. Tried to recruit him before the ball game for the next WBC for the Dutch team. Andrew Jones, I tried to get him, a couple of years ago, but he was having that tough time with his career, trying to wind down. He's trying to rejuvenate it. He couldn't play, but it's a guy that the Dutch team in the WBC were like.
Shot up the middle and a base hit for Roger Bernardina. So the scout, Bert Blyleven, watching Roger Bernardina's every move, ready to make his move. And a busy man watching the Netherlands play in the World Cup as well. You don't have much time for anything else.
No, we didn't have a lot of offense in that WBC. So right there, that's something we didn't get in all those ball games. But we had a lot of fun with it. We did very well. We beat the Dominican Republic twice. Take that.
Bernardina with 5 stolen bases is on at first with 1 out. That's the 3rd hit of the game for the Nationals. And here is Ian Desmond, who has gotten better each month at the plate. Desmond batting .267 with 4 homers and 33 runs batted in. Was in 21 games last year for Washington.
Yeah, he hit .280, hit 4 home runs. They really like this young man at shortstop out of the University of South Florida. Just 24 years old.
And in the air to center field, Andrew Jones gets back to make the catch as Bernardina returns to first base. And there are 2 out in the second with the pitcher, J.D. Martin, coming up.
Martin does have 1 hit this year and 4 at-bats. He has 5 major league hits and 29 at-bats.
And a call strike to Martin. Jake Peavy, who had a pitch out of trouble in the first inning after the first 2 Nationals reached on base hits. Fastball foul back, no balls and 2 strikes. Peavy, as you mentioned, came over from San Diego, and it was a trade last July for 4 pitchers. He was on the disabled list for 3 months with a strained tendon in his right ankle, and when he came to Chicago, very impressive, 3-0 in his 3 starts and an ERA of 1.35. In the dirt, good block by Pierzynski prevents advance.
I think Martin missed his pitch, that second pitch, and then, of course, Peavy trying to get that slider down. A.J. Pierzynski doing a good job of blocking it to keep Bernardina at first base. I think he's going to get another slider right here. Throw over to first.
Peavy's 29 years old from Mobile, Alabama. 1 ball and 2 strikes to his opposite number. Now the count 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, he missed with that slider right there. Now you don't want to walk the pitcher, so he's going to throw a fastball right here. Make Martin swing the bat. That's what A.J. Pierzynski's thinking right back there. Well, Peavy wants a slider again.
And strike 3 on the inside corner. Good breaking ball. Second strikeout for Peavy. No score between the White Sox and the Nationals after 2. Number 8 hitter for the White Sox, Gordon Beckham, the second baseman, hitting .204 with a homer and 16 runs batted in. And playing, he steps in at third is Ryan Zimmerman. The first pitch is ball 1.
Yeah, the White Sox a little concerned about where is the power for Gordon Beckham. 14 home runs last year. He's not hit a home run in his last 192 plate appearances.
And counting, as they would say. Out of play, 1 ball and 1 strike to Beckham, who has been a better road hitter than a home hitter in his career. Pitcher Jake Peavy is on deck. Gets jammed and fouls it out of play. 1-2. J.D. Martin, as we mentioned, from Ridgecrest, and that's in the Mojave Desert in California.
Not too far from Bakersfield.
No, and created to house the military personnel and civilians working at the China Lake Naval Weapons Firing Range. So an interesting hometown as Beckham goes down on strikes for out number 1.
Well, again, there has been some concern about Jake Peavy. He had the MRI. There was no structural damage, but you can see him talking right there, getting his gear on, ready to hit, but
Herm Schneider, the head athletic trainer, talking with him, and Ozzie Guillen was adamant. He says, look, I wanted to put him on the disabled list because I would rather have Peavy miss 2 starts than 6 starts. But he says, I trust my players, and if they say they want to go, I've got to go with them. So that's what's riding here with Jake Peavy's start. 1 out, and a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike to Peavy.
Does have a couple home runs all those years with the Padres. They always say that, you know, you go to the American League and you don't get to hit, that you go back to the plate first appearance this year, it's like riding a bike. But you're supposed to remember how to do it. DH. You know what? I went before the DH and then the DH, and then when I went to Pittsburgh, I forgot how to hit. But I wasn't a very good hitter to get go.
See, that's what it's all about, though. And pitch misses outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes, but you are an outstanding pitcher, and of course, all of us are rooting for you and keeping our fingers crossed that perhaps this will be the year that you finally get into the Hall of Fame, which would be well deserved.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I always say, I was 5 votes short this year, Dick, and I say it's maybe meant to be for Blyleven in 2011. It's got a good ring to it. It was a fun career. I had a lot of great memories in those 22 seasons. As
the fans have had a lot of great memories, as those numbers will attest.
A lot of teammates had a lot of good memories, too.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Peavy with 1 out, nobody on base, and there's a pop-up, and Pudge Rodriguez in foul territory makes the catch for out number 2. For exclusive information, analysis, and breaking news, follow us on Twitter and Facebook. So log on to twitter.com/MLB on Fox, Facebook.com/Fox Sports, or MySpace.com/Fox Sports. I knew I couldn't say / 3 times in a row without fumbling. 2 down to Juan Pierre, the leadoff hitter, bounced to second his first time up.
Well, Pierre coming over from the Dodgers, where he spent the last 3 seasons. Again, a table setter. That's what I call these guys, like a Juan Pierre, Scott Podsednik, who was with Chicago last year, now with the Kansas City Royals. They create havoc on the bases. He got on the first, hit a ground ball to second in his first plate appearance, and I forgot to mention, I thought Martin did a great job because he fell behind 3-0 and then attacked the strike zone and got Pierre to ground ball to second.
And a foul ball. And last year, Juan Pierre really unnoticed in a lot of circles as you look at the first base coach, Omar Munoz, who taking the place of Harold Baines, who was out 6 to 8 weeks, having undergone knee replacement yesterday. And that pitch is high. Pierre last year, when Manny Ramirez went on the disabled, actually shouldn't, he was suspended for 50 games. Pierre really did a terrific job for the Dodgers to keep them afloat before Manny got back in there.
Yeah, he did a great job keeping those Dodgers in the race.
And a call on third strike. So J.D. Martin strikes out 3 of the last 4 batters he's faced in the middle of the third. Still 0-0. Nationals bat in the third inning, and there's a bunt put down by Nigel Morgan. It's a good one. Off balance thrown in time. Jake Peavy with an off balance terrific throw to first base to Mark Kotsay to get Nigel Morgan, and the crowd disagrees with that call.
Boy, very close play right here. Great bunt. The only person that could get it is a pitcher, Peavy, who bounced off that mound and then off balance throw. Still has something on it. Very close play. First base umpire Greg Gibson saying that the throw beat the speedy Morgan. Wow, what a great play by Peavy.
Jim Riggleman out of the dugout to argue with Greg Gibson.
Well, if there's any concern about Peavy's shoulder, I think that was a good example right there that his shoulder is fine. The tie is supposed to go to the runner. In this case, Morgan is called out.
Morgan, who singled his first time up, and he laid out a beautiful bunt, but Peavy made a great play. So with one down, here's Christian Guzman, and he laid down a beautiful bunt down the first base line and beat it out for a single in the first inning. And the first pitch is in for a strike. Washington Nationals, what progress they have made. Coming in 6 games under 500, which is their low point of the year, believe it or not. And last year at this time, they were 21-47, already 15 and a half games behind. They have had identical records in the last 2 years of 59 and 103.
That's frustrating right there, and that's why you pull for teams like the Washington Nationals to have some success. Jim Riggleman taking over for Manny Acta last year in his first full season as manager, his 11th season as a major league manager.
Foul off, and the count remains 0-2. Manny Acta, of course, now the manager of the Cleveland Indians. And Jim Riggleman, who managed the Cubs for 5 years, and replaced Manny Acta after 87 games last season. One ball and 2 strikes. Peavy has been right around the plate. In fact, he has thrown 14 strikes in his last 17 pitches. Off-speed pitch. Grounded to Kotsay, who'll make the play unassisted for the second out. 2 down here in the Nationals' third. Ryan Zimmerman struck out his first time up. Zimmerman grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and a Gold Glove winner last year, and also appeared in the All-Star game. 25 years old. 2 down, nobody on base, and a strike.
Yeah, born in Washington, North Carolina, and you wonder, I mean, it's almost only fitting that he plays for the Washington Nationals.
Good fastball in tight, and no balls and 2 strikes. Jake Peavy.
Peavy's always had some good movement on that fastball. That 2-seam sinking fastball, then the slider. He'll mix in a curveball occasionally, and the changeup.
The 0-2 pitch, and a breaking ball down low, 1-2. Nationals threatened in the first inning as Morgan and Guzman were on with base hits, and then Peavy got Zimmerman on strikes, Dunn and Willingham to fly out, and the Nationals had a 1-out single in the second inning, but nothing came of that. And strike 3, and that'll do it. So the first 1-2-3 inning for Jake Peavy, and his 3rd strikeout of the game. After 3, still no score. And by Ink, the new business card from Chase. Make your mark with Ink. No score after 3 innings, and the Nationals about hit the White Sox 3-2. And Omar Vizquel, who has one of the 2 hits for the White Sox, leading off against J.D. Martin. And first pitch is a strike. Vizquel will be followed by Mark Kotsay and Andrew Jones.
Well, you look at those 2 right there, Omar Vizquel, and then right behind him is Ivan Rodriguez, both of them with over 2,700 hits at the major league level.
And a ball hit out to center field, and unable to make the play was Christian Guzman. Valiant attempt at it, and Vizquel is on with his 2nd hit of the game.
Well, a little bit off the end of the bat right here, but Vizquel just fighting it off, and Guzzi and Desmond unable to catch up to this ball. And thank goodness everybody's okay. You're always a little worried when your outfielders converging along with the middle infielders.
So the White Sox have their leadoff man on for the first time today, and brings to the plate Mark Kotsay. Bounced into a fielder's choice. And there's a strike. Kotsay, 34 years old, and this is his 6th team. 14 years, acquired in the trade with the Red Sox last July.
He was a #1 pick by the Marlins back in 1996. Cal State Fullerton in Southern California. I know when he signed, there was like big talk. This guy was going to be the next great hitter that was going to just, get 3,000 hits, and it just hasn't worked out for him. A lot of injuries, some trades, some other problems that just hasn't really panned out for Mark Kotsay.
He had a pinch hit single to lead off the 11th inning, so he played a major role in the White Sox winning that extra inning affair last night.
He's a .281 career hitter coming into this season. His numbers down this year. Hitting at only .207.
There goes the runner, and a glove from Ian Desmond. Only came at first in time. So with Omar Vizquel running, broke up the double play and very nearly had 2 runners on as Desmond was moving as the ball was hit.
Yeah, either the second baseman or the shortstop are going to cover the bag, and what a play by Desmond right there. That's how athletic he is, able to get that ball and then flip it over to first base, Adam Dunn. My goodness. I mean, he's breaking to the bag. His thought was cover second base bag, and all of a sudden the ball hit behind his right, and he makes a great play.
So now the White Sox have a runner in scoring position. Andrew Jones skied out to Nigel Morgan in center his first time, and a big cut and a miss, strike 1.
Ozzie Guillen trying a little hit and run right there, but Desmond making a great play to get at least 1 out as Vizquel is at second.
No score here in the 4th inning. And time is called.
And that's one thing. That's a great play right there. That's one thing that I'm sure that the Nationals want to tighten up a little bit, and that's their defense. 62 errors on the year. That's way too many errors in 60. This is their 69th ball game.
Last in the major leagues in fielding. And Jim Riggleman has said we continue to work at it. No one's going to say we're not putting in the time, but somehow the errors just come along. Jim Riggleman has spent a lot of time with his team to work on defense. Here's a 1-1. And took something off that pitch. And now the count to Jones is 1-2.
Yeah, that looked like just curveball right there. He's got good movement on his fastball, Martin does. And then the curveball. Good downward bite on that curveball.
No score. J.D. Martin facing a runner in scoring position for the first time today here in the 4th inning, and steps off the rubber. No one was at second for the throw. And trying to keep Vizquel in the neighborhood with Carlos Quentin on deck for Chicago. Cubs losing to the Angels today, and the Yankees beat the Mets 5-3 in the second game of their Subway Series. And ball, strike 3. And Andrew Jones goes down, and there's 2 out. Talked with Jim Riggleman, the Nationals manager, about his assessment of how J.D. Martin was going thus far.
Well, JD's doing a good job. You know, he's given us a chance here, and you know, Peavy, he's a wily veteran. You know, he's got a way of kind of just getting off the barrel of the bat just a little bit to where you just can't quite center him up enough to get him. I thought Dunn had a good whack at him, and you know, we had a potential there in the first inning with the guys getting on, but he knows what he's doing out there, so he's going to be a challenge.
Coach, Bert Blyleven here. Bert, playing here, I mean, you know, managing here where you grew up has to be very exciting for you.
It is, Bert. You know, it's really a special opportunity to manage in the big leagues anywhere. It's just such a pleasure and an honor to get the opportunity to do it, and to do it in your hometown. And you know, it's really special. I grew up, you know, watching the Senators here back in the day, and great to have baseball back in the nation's capital and be a part of it.
Hey, Jim, thanks very much. Keep up the good work.
Hey, thanks, Dick.
Jim Riggleman.
I like what he said right there, Dick. You know, I mean, it's an honor to be a manager, but you can see he grew up here. He knows the history of baseball in this area. And he's very, very happy to be the manager.
12 strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. And, of course, the Washington Senators were a great franchise, even though the old phrase last in first in war, first in peace, last in the American League was kind of a joke. But they had some really terrific players and pitchers.
Became the Minnesota Twins in 1961, yes. And then Bob Short took them to Texas. So they've had baseball here. Just there was that one period where now the Montreal Expos have moved here to the capital.
3 balls and 1 strike with 2 down to Quentin, who bounced back to the mound his first time up. White Sox with a leadoff single have a runner in scoring position, and Quentin misses in the count now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. J.D. Martin has struck out 4, 2 uncalled third strikes. He hasn't walked anyone and has given up 3 hits.
He's doing a good job of attacking the strike zone. 57 pitches, 36 have been strikes.
And the 3-2. And a line drive, base hit to left field. They're going to wave Vizquel in. And Carlos Quentin is not hit for average, but he is knocking in those runs, and that's his 37th RBI of the year, and the White Sox take a 1-0 lead.
Well, that's how you get the RBIs in situations, especially 2-out hitting. Now, this is a 3-2 pitch right here, and he tries that fastball, but Martin just left it about belt high, and Quentin did not miss it. See the grip on that ball right there, just right down the middle. And Quentin picks up an RBI, and the White Sox take a 1-0 lead.
Here is A.J. Pierzynski, who singled his first time up. And the pitch outside, ball 1. And how fortunate the White Sox were that they had sent Vizquel, who had singled, in what might have been a double play to erase the base runner. Instead, winding up at second base. Good play by Desmond. But Vizquel eventually coming around to score. There's a ball rolling through the hole on the left side for a base hit by Pierzynski, who is now 2 for 2, and Quentin stops at second.
One thing about A.J. Pierzynski, he's behind the plate. He's almost like Ivan Rodriguez, but on a lower scale. A.J. Pierzynski's always been a very good hitter, a career .286 hitter. You know, he's in his last year of his contract. He just became a 5-10 player for the Chicago White Sox, where they have to okay a trade if they do trade him. But I think with Kenny Williams, what he did a couple weeks ago, he kind of brought, you know, Kenny Williams, the general manager for the Chicago White Sox, he kind of threatened the players, basically, guys, hey, let's step it up a little bit, or we're going to find a lot of new faces in a Chicago White Sox uniform. And Ozzie Guillen heard it, his players heard it, and now they're playing better baseball. So that little bit of a threat by Kenny Williams maybe woke up some guys in that White Sox uniform.
Alexi Ramirez takes strike 1, struck out his first time up. And, you know, this has always been a tenuous time for the White Sox. If they're not going to contend, do they clean house and start selling off and trading off some of their top names? And Ozzie Guillen, of course, wants to keep the team, thinks they can contend, and they've played really well at the right time.
You know, you would think, Dick, with the monies that these players make today, that a general manager doesn't have to come in and basically scold the players. But you know what? sometimes guys get complacent. They take things for granted, and it takes somebody just to kind of put you straight sometimes. And good job by Kenny Williams, good job by Ozzie Guillen, reinforcing that and saying, hey guys, you know what, we're better than we're showing.
And strike three as Ramirez goes down, but the White Sox get a run on 3 hits, take a 1-0 lead into the bottom of the fourth. Sox scoring a run in the top of this fourth inning, and now it'll be Dunn, Willingham, and Pudge Rodriguez against Jake Peavy in the bottom of the fourth. Dunn fouls off the first pitch for a strike. Adam fly to center field his first time up, and now is 5 for 26 against Jake Peavy. That's a 190 average. On the other hand, 2 of those 5 hits have been for homers.
You can see why. My goodness, Adam Dunn at 6'6", about 285. We were down on the field during batting practice, and you walk next to this guy, and I had a chance to pitch against Frank Howard. But my goodness, they're just big, just a big, strong man.
They're bigger today, obviously. Players in all sports are bigger, but Frank Howard was a giant because he played basketball at Ohio State before he got into baseball.
And one of the nicest men you'd ever meet.
Fly ball, right field, Carlos Quentin. Fighting the sun, makes the catch. Dunn is retired out, number 1. And we caught up with Ozzie Guillen, the White Sox manager, and they said that, Jake Peavy, obviously his shoulder must be feeling pretty good looking at that play he made off the mound on the bunt.
Besides his shoulders, he got some problem with his ankle last year. And, that's a hell of a play for him.
Hey, Ozzie, anything about Bert Blyleven here? Anything about what Kenny Williams said to you guys? I just talked about that, hey, you guys are playing good baseball right now.
Well, we expect to play like this all year long. Unfortunately, we started the season very, very bad. But right now, that's the team we expect to be playing. Like you see, Carlos Quentin got a 2-out base hit. We don't have that much this year. And the pitching is turned around being great. Last week and a half, they're pitching great. That's the reason I think we are where we are right now.
Ozzie, we're in the World Series, so you know what it means to win the All-Star game for that home field advantage as well as anyone.
Oh, wow. The players, managers, and people know how important it is. I think the past, when we was playing, we just got a kind of exhibition game, but it's very important because I think having advantage in the All-Star game is very, very big for any team to represent that. And the players know, the players are aware of that, the managers know, and and defense should know that that's a big game for any of the leagues.
Hey, Oz, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
So the All-Star Game, which will be seen exclusively on Fox on Tuesday, July 13th. And a fair ball gloved behind the bag by Omar Vizquel. The throw in time. And a good stretch by Mark Kotsay at first base as Josh Willingham is retired for out number 2.
The 11-time Rawlings Gold Glove winner, showing his glove right there at third base. So many, all the Gold Gloves at short, but what great range right there by that 42-year-old man. And a big smile right there by Omar Vizquel. Outstanding play. That ball hugged that line as it went over that third base bag.
You can see the Gold Gloves amassed by Omar Vizquel. Here is Pudge Rodriguez taking a strike. He lined out to Quentin in right field. I want to remind you that baseball's biggest stars will go head-to-head at one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event. Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2010 MLB All-Star Game. Tuesday, July 13th, live from Anaheim. And there's a ball blocked by Kotsay for out number 3. A 1-2-3 inning for Jake Peavy. And in the middle of this game, as we go to the 5th, 1-0 in favor of Chicago. Five strikeouts for J.D. Martin. The Nationals trail 1-0 and a shot to third base. Ryan Zimmerman playing in, makes the play to retire Beckham for out number 1.
Well, again, you love those first one-pitch outs right there. And Martin's done a good job. He's coming off a rough outing in his last start where he gave up 6 earned runs to the Cleveland Indians in interleague play in Cleveland, but he worked 7 2/3 innings in that ballgame.
Here's Jake Peavy, who popped up to Pudge Rodriguez. Martin making his 4th start of the year and looking for his first win of the season. And a strike to Peavy.
Yeah, last year 5 wins, 4 losses, and 15 starts. He was called up on July 2nd, and he never left the rotation after that. This year started in AAA.
Base hit, past the dive of Guzman into center field, and Jake Peavy gets a base hit with 1 out here in the 5th inning. That is the 6th hit of the game for the White Sox. The Nationals have 3, and all of the hits so far today have been singles.
Yeah, Gavin Floyd, the starter in last night's ball game, got a base hit for the Chicago White Sox off of Strasburg. So Peavy right there.
No plate umpire Sam Holbrook and Pudge in a discussion, and there's Ozzie getting in on it and enjoying it.
Oh, Ozzie's always enjoying it. I'll tell you what, that guy right there asking him if he wants a jacket. It's 100 degrees out there. Does he want a jacket?
Peavy with the lead, and the first pitch is a strike. Zimmerman playing in at third, looking for the bunt by Pierre, and with one out.
Well, you have to take the bunt away from him, and that's what Zimmerman does right there. But Pierre did kind of show a bunt just to bring Zimmerman in, because that cuts down his range if he can slap that ball by him.
And missed outside, 1-1. Omar Vizquel is on deck, has a couple of singles today. There is Omar, who came around and scored the only run. Now done playing behind Peavy, and a drive hit to right center field. Coming on in and making the catch is Bernardina, and that'll be the second out here in the 5th inning. And the temperature has risen. We were just about at 90. It's over 100 on the field, and I have a sense, Bert, it was over 100 even before this game.
Yeah, it was very warm down there for batting practice. And again, you have to laugh at Ozzie asking his pitcher, do you want a jacket out there? You want to lose about 10 more pounds?
That'll do it. That fanning yourself with the scorecard will help. And there's Vizquel, who has 2 hits and 2 trips. 2 down, Peavy on at first base in the first pitch, ball 1. The White Sox playing Washington for the first time since 1971. That was the Senators, not the original Senators. And that game was played in Comiskey Park in July of that year. And the count now 2 balls and no strikes to Omar Vizquel.
Your take on the interleague play, you like it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it adds a lot of spice, breaks things up in the middle of the season. Foul at the plate, even though it used to be the exclusive domain of the World Series. And I think by the time the World Series comes along after midseason, people have forgotten about the fact that the AL has played the NL. 2 balls and a strike and 2 out. Peavy has had to broil in the sun. He singled with 1 out. He's had to stand out there for a while. And the pitch just misses inside. They appealed to third base umpire Jerry Davis, and he said that Vizquel did not go around. So it's 3-1 to the veteran third baseman.
Well, Vizquel holding up right there. And Jerry Davis, a crew chief down at third base, said he did not go too far.
Here's the 3-1 pitch, and it's lifted into short left field, and it's the shortstop Ian Desmond makes the catch to retire the side. 1 hit and 1 left, and now we're halfway through this game, and the White Sox up 1-0. crossovers. And here in Washington, bottom of the fifth inning, it'll be the bottom third of the order as the White Sox lead the Nationals 1-0. Roger Bernardina, Ian Desmond, and J.D. Martin. And we want to welcome Mike Rizzo, the general manager of the Nationals. And tell you what, the Nationals have made some great progress so far, Mike, in this young season still.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. We're playing hard and trying to play a good brand of baseball.
And, of course, everyone's talking about your pitcher, Steven Strasburg, and what a great boost it has been to the franchise for him thus far.
Well, it's been a great boost in all phases at the turnstiles, and but more importantly, every 5 days gives us a real good chance to win a ball game, and he's pitching terrifically.
Well, you guys have a very young franchise. I mean, you have some veterans like Adam Dunn and other guys like that, but you guys are basically, I mean, you've done a great job of putting a pretty good bullpen together along with these young pitchers.
Well, we did. That was the point of emphasis this off season. We, of course, when I took over last year, the bullpen was in shambles, and we had lost a lot of games late in games. And there's nothing more demoralizing to a ball club is when you've got a lead and you scratch for the lead and you lose it in the latter innings.
You've got to be very happy with the way things are developing in what has been a terrific division as Bernardino grounds to Kotsay, who flips the PB 4 out number 1.
I think, when you look at when you became general manager, you signed Zimmerman. You put a lot of guys, you brought in Jim Riggleman. You put a lot of things into motion that you were looking, I'm sure, not only this year, but years to come.
Well, it's a building process, obviously. We're at our infancy as an organization, as a franchise. The Lerner family bought this 3 seasons ago. And we're still taking baby steps, but we're trying to build a core foundation, of character players and some players with ability. We've got a good bunch of young players out there, and we surround them with some veteran players to teach them how to win and teach them how to play the game the right way.
And of course, the draft not only Strasburg, but Drew Storen last year as well, and Bryce Harper getting a lot of play as an outfielder.
Yeah, Bryce is he's part of our future. He's a terrific young player. Played catcher and outfielder in junior college. We see him a quicker path to the major leagues as an outfielder. But you can't say enough about what Strasburg and Drew Storen have done for us out of the 09 draft.
Ian Desmond strikes out, looking, and here's a look at Strasburg in his first 3 starts. They have been amazing.
Well, he's been terrific. He's a poised young man with power stuff and command of 4 pitches, really. He throws 2 types of fastballs. He can add and subtract with the breaking ball, and he's got a devastating changeup that's really tough on both righties and lefties.
Mike, I've seen that changeup. It almost looks like a Gaylord Perry split finger. I'm not saying spitter, but a split finger. I mean, my goodness, great stuff, and a great kid on it.
Mike Rizzo, thanks very much for joining us. And I know we didn't even touch on the fact that you probably have a full pitching rotation in rehab right now.
Exactly.
Going to come to your club, but Bert and I will get that. Thanks for being with us.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you.
All right. Here as Fox Sports, brought to you by Pepsi Refresh Project, thousands of ideas, millions in grants, Horizon, the network with the most 3G coverage, and by Chevrolet and our award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. And the White Sox coming up in the 6th inning. It'll be Kotsay, Jones, and Quentin against J.D. Martin, who has allowed 6 hits, all singles. And the first pitch to Kotsay is ball 1. And on the hit and run with Vizquel leading off in the 4th inning, hit a ground ball that Desmond made a fine play on, but it allowed Vizquel to get into scoring position, eventually scoring on Quentin's base hit.
Yeah, but because of that good defensive play, it could have been more than just one run. If Desmond doesn't knock that down and get Kotsay out, that's a bigger inning maybe for the Chicago White Sox. So the defense that has kind of let the Nationals down so far this year with the 62 errors, that's a great defensive play. That kept the game at 1-0, maybe then, or 2 or 3-0. As Jake Peavy has retired 11 straight, he's in a nice little groove.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Now 2-2 to Kotsay. Outside 3-2. J.D. Martin was a first-round pick in 2001, the 35th overall pick by the Indians, and the pick was given to the Tribe as compensation for losing Manny Ramirez in free agency to the Red Sox. He spent 8 years in the Cleveland farm system. Kotsay fouls it off to the left, out of play.
Yeah, Martin had that Tommy John surgery back in July of 2005, and that kind of, it always takes a year, sometimes 2 years for a pitcher to come back from that. Again, the pitching is in his family, in the family. It's in the blood. His father, John Martin, pitched a couple years in the Yankee and Angel organization in the late 60s. And then his brother Kevin was drafted by the Indians, who J.D. was, and he pitched 3 years in the minors from 2001 to 2004.
And managed to get into the rotation, called up on May the 29th with lefty Scott Olson on the DL with shoulder tendonitis, foul ball. And the point with Mike Rizzo that we never really got to is concerning the fact that he's got some pretty good pitchers who are expected to come back in August. Like Jordan Zimmerman, who's had elbow ligament replacement, Scott Olson, Jason Marquis, Chin-Min Wang. I mean, you have 4 pitchers, and that could be a totally different look in the rotation for the Nationals before the end of the year.
Yeah, they were really looking forward to Marquis really being a big part of that rotation with that injury. That kind of hurt them a little bit. And Chin-Min Wang just trying to get back to where he was when he was with the Yankees when he won 19 2 years in a row.
So Mark Kotsay really making J.D. Martin work. This will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat, and 11 coming up. Still 3-2. Andrew Jones on deck for the White Sox, who have won 7 of their last 8 road games and are over 500 on the year. This is a team that struggled.
Now 17-16 on the road, 15-18 in Chicago.
Fly ball center field, and Nigel Morgan has the speed to get back on the warning track and makes the catch. That ball really carried, and there's 1 gone in the White Sox 6th. And here is the Toyota in-game box score for the White Sox.
And the White Sox with the 6 hits and the 1-run lead. Omar Vizquel with a couple singles. He scored that run right now with the RBI single by Carlos Quentin.
In last night's 2-1 11-inning game, no one had more than 1 hit. And there is Andrew Jones lifting a fly ball to right and on a bounce. And knocking it in front of him is Bernardini. And Jones with the base hit. 7th hit of the game for Chicago. All singles. 1 out, 1 on to Carlos Quentin. And he broke back at first. The sun must be a problem here.
Well, right there, Bernardino comes in and then tries to catch up to it with his speed, but the ball landing in front of him. You know, outfielders, and they are taught to freeze first and then pick up the ball. I mean, freeze, pick up the ball, and then go. And you don't want your first step back. And Bernardino kind of hesitated a split second. Could have that made a difference? You play Andruw Jones deep anyway because of the power. He kind of inside out of that for that base hit.
Carlos Quentin, who knocked in the White Sox run, takes a breaking ball for a strike.
That's a good curveball right there that Martin shows. And the average is down for Quentin, but the RBI and the home run are where you would expect Carlos Quentin to be. 8 home runs, 37 runs driven in.
Not really had much consistency, as he's not had a hitting streak of more than 3 games. And you go back to what he did 2 years ago in a sensational year with 36 home runs and 100 runs batted in. A true all-star. And, of course, he's had injury problems as well. Was on the DL for 7 weeks last year with plantar fasciitis in his left foot.
And then the year prior to that, he had that right wrist surgery where, remember, he hit his bat and he ended up breaking his wrist, and that put him out for a while.
He's at the plate with Andruw Jones on at first with 1 out in the 6th. White Sox lead 1-0 in a pitcher's duel. And the 0-1 pitch popped up in foul territory near the Nationals dugout and out of play. Meanwhile, activity in the Nationals bullpen. Right-hander Miguel Batista has begun to throw.
Yeah, the journeyman Miguel Batista. There he is.
Well, we're going to be back in Washington. And for all of you Nationals fans, July the 3rd, Fox will be here to cover the game between the Nationals and the Mets. And the start time has been changed to 4:10 p.m. for the telecast on Fox. So Quentin back in there. And Martin ahead of him, 2 strikes.
Martin with 5 strikeouts, no walks in the ball game. 88 pitches, 59 for strikes. So he's done a good job here this afternoon attacking the strike zone.
And 1 out, and A.J. Pierzynski on deck.
Number 2, looks like a curveball coming.
Inside, but swinging at it and going down on strikes is Quentin.
Again, good rotation on that curveball, even though Pudge Rodriguez wanted that ball away. Watch the good break on that breaking ball. And Quentin swinging through it. Strikeout number 6 for Martin.
And that brings up Pierzynski, who has 2 hits. So Vizquel and Pierzynski have 4 of the 7 hits for the White Sox. Andruw Jones with the lead at first base. Fastball fouled back, strike 1. White Sox have not hit a home run in 6 consecutive games. They're 4th in the league in home runs. That fastball inside, 1-1 to Pierzynski.
That strikeout of Quentin right there, that's a new career high for J.D. Martin as far as strikeouts in a single game at the major league level, making just his 19th major league start.
Jammed him with a good pitch, and it's still 1-2. White Sox and the Nationals on Fox. And the day after Steven Strasburg pitched, and he had been the stopper. He came in and made his major league debut with a 2-game losing streak and won that one. And then the Nationals had lost 2 in a row before he won his second start. and they were riding a 3-game losing streak. And the question is, can this 21-year-old become a stopper this early in his career?
I don't know about a stopper. I just think he's going to go out and just be consistent, and that's what he's shown in his first 3 starts. Well, who wants to be the stopper today is that guy right there, J.D. Martin.
You always want to be the pitcher to end the losing streak.
Yes, you do.
And again, getting back is Jones.
Well, you can't do anything about the way that Jake Peavy is pitching because he's pitching outstanding. What you can control is keeping your club in the game, and Martin's been able to do that. He gave up the run in the 4th inning. Good defensive play by Desmond, keeping it a 1-0 lead. But now his goal here is to put another 0 on the board.
Base hit to left field, and Pierzynski slaps it the other way, and Andrew Jones will stop at second base. So the White Sox have 2 hits with 2 out. And this is last night in his 3rd major league start, working 7 innings, giving up 1 run on 4 hits, 10 strikeouts, and did not walk a batter. And the amazing thing is, you talk about the 32 strikeouts in 3 starts, Bert. How about the fact that only 5 walks so far in 19 in the 3rd inning?
Yeah, he and Gavin Floyd, there was a pitching duel last night between these 2 guys right here. Gavin Floyd, 8 very good innings. Steven Strasburg, 7 very good innings.
Steve McCatty, the pitching coach, out to the mound, and now Sam Holbrook will come out. Remember, Batista has been warming up in the bullpen.
Yeah, Jim Riggleman gives McCatty a lot of credit for the way that he came over last year and really started forming these young pitchers and had them starting to believe. And they said even here when Strasburg worked his first game, pitched his first ball game, he told him, he said, expect a big ovation when you come out of that bullpen because the fans love me here. And so when they walked out, McCatty tipped his hat. He said, see, they're all applauding me. And he made Steven Strasburg smile a little bit and laugh before his biggest game of his life, and that was his first major league start. So McCatty did it the right way.
So tongue-in-cheek, his first step in asking for a raise. Alexi Ramirez checks a swing and takes ball 1. Ramirez has struck out twice against J.D. Martin.
One more thing about my conversation with McCatty is he said that Steven Strasburg is such, he said, if I had a daughter, I would want her to date him. That's how nice of man he is, or young man. And that's a pretty nice compliment.
And maybe the best. If it could involve someone in your own family, it would be the top compliment. 2 runners on and 2 out here in the White Sox 6th. Chicago leading Washington 1-0. That pitch is inside to Alexi Ramirez, who in September of 07 decided to defect from Cuba while the Cuba national team was playing in the Dominican Republic.
Signed a 4-year contract with the White Sox.
Fair ball, and stepping on third is Zimmerman for the force to end it. 2 hits, 2 left after 5.5. 1-0 in favor of the White Sox. White Sox leading 1-0, and the Nationals batting in the bottom of the 6th inning. They've been out hit 8-3 in the top of the order for the Nationals, and squaring the bunt, taking a strike is Nigel Morgan, who singled to center field and laid down a beautiful bunt, and Jake Peavy, off balance, made a terrific throw to Mark Kotsay to get him in the 3rd inning. So he's 1 for 2 and takes call strike 2 here.
Yeah, getting ahead in the count. That's what Peavy's been able to do. 59 pitches, 43 for strikes. He's retired 11 straight coming into the 6th inning.
And the 0-2 pitch is outside. Peavy not only has run a string getting outs, he's thrown a first pitch strike to 16 straight batters.
Well, and that again, that's the key to a good ball game. Get ahead in the count and then put them away, hopefully with your out pitch, and that's been the breaking ball like that.
Ground ball, Kotsay steps on the bag for out number 1. And that will bring up Christian Guzman, who is 1 for 2.
You know, Dick, it all keys off the fastball. You have to have good location to your fastball. Peavy, both these starters here have not walked the batter. You control the strike zone with your fastball, and then you get them out with that good breaking ball.
Here's Guzman, 1 for 2. Beat out a bunt single and was part of a double steal in the 1st inning for the Nationals. And there's a hard hit ball, but right at Gordon Beckham. And quickly there are 2 out here in the 6th. And here is today's Verizon game summary.
Well, it looks like Peavy, all he needs is 1 run, the way that he's going about his business. 13 straight outs by Jake Peavy.
Carlos Quentin driving in the only run of the game, and you talk about how Peavy has settled down. Remember, he told Ozzie Guillen, I'm ready to go, and J.D. Martin has been effective, giving up a lot of hits, but striking out 6, giving up only 1 run.
Yeah, career-high 6 strikeouts, and he's doing what he can to keep his team in the game.
Ryan Zimmerman fouls off the first pitch for a strike. Sean Burnett is up in the Nats bullpen, a left-hander. Zimmerman has struck out twice, last time up on a called 3rd strike. 13 in a row set down by Peavy. Another foul out of play, and once again Jake Peavy is ahead of the batter. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, the Nationals coming into this ball game hitting .259 as a ball club. That's 9th best in the National League. They've hit 61 home runs. Basically, it's the pitching that is really coming on for the Nationals.
2 down, 0-2 the count to Ryan Zimmerman. And strike 3, and that'll do it here in the 6th inning. And we'll return to Washington after a word from your local Fox station. Difference of the year. He was acquired with Nigel Morgan from the Pirates last June for Lasting's millage, and will face Beckham, the number 9 hitter. Peavy scheduled to hit in Juan Pierre.
Yeah, the only left-hander out of that bullpen for the Nationals. Sean Burnett, 27 years old, coming over last year. He was with the Pirates in 2004 and then 2008 and 9 before getting traded over.
Falls behind Beckham 2-0. Beckham struck out and bounced to third, and just flirting with the 200 mark. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and in there for the strike, and kind of comes from the outside, does Burnett.
Yeah, Burnett kind of growing up, he said he watched a lot of film of Tom Glavine, and that's the type of pitcher he wants to be. Not overpowering. He'll get that ball in the upper 80s, lower 90s. Slurve-type curveball, and he really likes his changeup. He said he's got a Glavine-like changeup. Good job right there by J.D. Martin. 6 very good innings, a career high at the major league level. 6 strikeouts, no walks. So very impressive outing, but he finds himself down 1-0.
A pop fly out to shallow center field. Guzman is there to make the catch. And there's one away. And now it's time for the Just for Men Keep Your Edge Spotlight. And it has to be Jake Peavy with what he's done so far, Bert.
Well, you know what? He's pitching outstanding. No walks in a ball game. 5 strikeouts for Peavy. He has retired 14 straight national batters since the second inning. And makes that great play right there on Morgan to retire him in the 3rd inning.
And just as Jake Peavy gives the White Sox the edge, you too can keep your edge with Just for Men mustache and beard. And another pop fly. And this one is caught by Ian Desmond, the shortstop. And that got a little tricky out there in short center.
Well, you got 2 guys right there, Desmond and Guzman. Both of them very good speed. You can hear them probably, Guzman saying, "I've got it." Desmond, I'm sure, saying, "I've got it." Both of them, you can see them both yelling. And it was Desmond that put the glove in front of Guzman's glove to be able to get that little pop-up. Yeah, that's a tough little play.
Well, if the tie goes to the runner, what happens if the tie, I got it? Who gets that one?
You hope that your glove's in front, like Desmond's was. You can see Guzman kind of looking up at that sun as the sun is starting to set over that third base line here. So the shadows should come into play.
Juan Pierre takes strike 1. Pierre 0 for 3, facing Sean Burnett for the first time. Check swing and went around. Crew Chief Jerry Davis indicated that Pierre had swung, so it's 0-2 with 2 out.
And we talked a little bit about J.D. Martin missing time because of the Tommy John surgery. Sean Burnett, the same thing. He had the Tommy John surgery back in 2004, and he missed the whole 2005 season.
1-2 now.
Well, you think about, when I pitched back in the 70s and 80s, Tommy John, I mean, he was still pitching. My goodness. What if they didn't have the what if Tommy never had the surgery? What do they call that thing?
Maybe the Johnny Klipstein surgery or something in that order, I know you're laughing at that one because he was a long-time pitcher with the Twins among other clubs, and you can't stop laughing over that one.
You know what? I'm amazed medically what they can do now to bring back kids and have them continue their career because of, a torn ligament in your elbow. I mean, way back when, your baseball career was pretty much over with. But now they're able to, take a muscle from a ligament from another part of your body and put it in that elbow. And some guys come back and they pitch stronger and they throw harder.
3 balls and 2 strikes. And that one hits Pierre on the hand, and he'll trot down to first base. 2-out base runner. Juan Pierre, a base runner. Herm Schneider will go out to check with him.
Well, that fastball and looked like it hit the elbow right there of Pierre. Yep. Oh boy, right off that funny bone right there. When talking about getting hit by pitch, how about Troy Tulowitzki? I mean, my goodness, is that a devastating blow to the Colorado Rockies when he got his left wrist broken?
And nothing funny about the funny bone, as Guillen is out there as well. Well, next week on Fox Saturday Baseball, it's an interleague primetime special as the Cubs battle the White Sox with Windy City bragging rights on the line. The Yankees will be heading to Chavez Ravine to take on the Dodgers in a showdown between historic rivals. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Chevrolet, returns next week at a special time, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific on Fox. Check your local listings for the game and start time in your area. So it's great that we will have our second primetime slate of this season. Meanwhile, nationwide, thousands of communities have gotten involved as Chevrolet and Scotts have set out to rebuild local ballparks. So don't miss your chance to get involved and to win a new Chevrolet at ChevroletBaseball.com.
Yeah, now that Pierre got hit on the elbow, he didn't hurt his leg. So keep an eye on Juan Pierre at first base.
27 stolen bases, leading the league. Omar Vizquel, the switch hitter, now batting right-handed, has 2 hits and 3 trips and scored the 1 run in the game. The White Sox lead the Nationals 1-0 and trying to make it 5 in a row, which would extend their winning streak to 5, their longest of the year. Fastball and a strike, 0-1. Miguel Batista, who was up earlier for the Nationals, and then Burnett started to throw. So Batista, the righty, is up once more.
Tough to probably read Burnett right here for Pierre at first base. He's never seen his move toward home.
1-1.
That's one thing about interleague play. We talked about it earlier. You like it. I broadcast some games for the Minnesota Twins, almost all their games, and I would like each team in each division to play the same interleague teams. That's the only thing I would like to see changed in interleague play.
Now back, so
the Chicago White Sox, who are in the East Central Division in the American League, are playing the Washington Nationals, while the Twins are up the road playing the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah, but the Twins are in first place, so this kind of evens it out a little bit, Bert. I mean, they're up by 5.5 games. It's called the equalizer, so to speak.
That equalizer has brought game 163 to the Twins the last 2 years.
It's true.
Winning one last year against the Tigers and then losing 2 years ago to the Chicago White Sox ball club.
Jim Thome's home run.
Off of Nick Blackburn.
The only run in the game. Dramatic playoff game. Meanwhile, here it's 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs.
And then last year's 163rd game might be the best game you'd ever want to witness in that extra inning win the Twins had. So Riggleman giving some signs over to Rodriguez. See, go through signs, sometimes maybe a pitch out.
Really devoting a lot of time to Juan Pierre. 1-0 game, and White Sox looking for what would be an all-important insurance run here in the 7th inning.
A little pinky sometimes means fastball away. And it was just grounded away.
Did not go around. Brett Gibson, the first base umpire, and the crowd cheering the umpire, thought that Vizquel had swung. So the count is 2-2 with 2 outs. Juan Pierre on for the first time, and there you see how close that was.
Well, there's some yelling going on by Jim Riggleman right there to the home plate umpire. Sam Holbrook hearing it from the dugout.
Two balls, 2 strikes, and the 2 out. There goes Pierre, and the hit and run was on, and the pitch is fouled off to the right, so we'll do it again as Pierre goes back to first.
Well, good old baseball. You know what? This is the way the game should be played. You feel like you have an opinion, and Holbrook saying it's my call. On a check swing right there, you would think you would ask for help. It's his call to ask the first base umpire for help.
2-2, and let's see if they start Pierre. They do. Gets a good jump, but Vizquel strikes out to end it. 1 left in the 7th inning, and Adam Dunn will lead off. And all the Nationals lead is 1 swing of the bat to draw even in this one. for men for mustache and beard. Keep your edge. By Mobil One, the world's leading synthetic motor oil brand. And by Lowe's, for all your home improvement needs, Lowe's. Let's build something together. 1-0, the White Sox lead. And Adam Dunn moments ago in the dugout with Nyjer Morgan. Morgan is wearing a mic, but we could pick up Dunn here.
Hey, please score, please. Please.
That is begging.
Yes, it is. As Morgan is using Dunn's towel to try to stay a little cool. Adam Dunn flied out twice to center field. 1-0 the count. And there's a drive, but curving foul and out of play. But he got all of that one. And that's been the hardest shot hit all day today.
Well, 332 career home runs for Adam Dunn. They average at 285. Sometimes he's kind of, home run or strike out. He has struck out a lot in his career, about once every 3 at-bats. But boy, when he does connect, they can go a long way.
Jake Peavy has allowed 12 home runs so far this year. And Adam Dunn with 16 homers coming in, second in the National League, leading off here in a 1-0 game. And that pitch misses inside, 1-2.
Adam Dunn has hit between 38 and 46 home runs over each of his last 6 seasons. So he's a guy that you put in that number 4 slot in your lineup.
And there's a strike. The count was 2-1, and now it's all even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And this is what he's done the last 9 years. 332 homers. And by the way, he has hit 6 homers in the last 10 games. So he has had the home run swing as of late.
Pretty good company right there.
Full count to Dunn, followed by Josh Willingham.
Yeah, Dunn he played 7 seasons with the Reds, 1 season with the Diamondbacks, and his 2nd season here with the Nationals.
Payoff pitch, strike 3. And a breaking ball on the outside corner, and Adam Dunn goes down.
Yeah, the backdoor slider right there. Sam Holbrook again hearing it from the dugout. Wiggleman trying to defend his players right there. That ball looked like it went around the plate, and you know what? If you hit that glove, you watch A.J. Pierzynski sit outside, and that ball, Dunn doesn't like it as he strikes out. Peavy picks up strikeout number 6.
Josh Willingham, he takes a strike on a fastball. So 6 strikeouts, as you mentioned, for Peavy. And no walks. Ball strike 2. We have not had any bases on balls in this game.
That's 9 times in this ball game he's been ahead, 0-2.
The plate, so the count remains 0-2. Jake Peavy living up to his promise to Ozzie Guillen.
Well, you know what? Then this is what the White Sox have wanted out of Jake Peavy. They just have not seen Jake Peavy at his San Diego best when he won the Cy Young. He had the ankle injury at the surgery last year.
Drive to right field. Carlos Quentin is back there to glove it. Solid line drive to the opposite field by Willingham. And there are 2 down here in the 7th. And Pudge Rodriguez coming up. First, here is our Toyota in-game box score for the Nationals.
Well, you can see not many hits, only 3 of them. And a couple of them in the first inning. It was Morgan and Guzman with that bunt for 2 of the 3 hits. And then Bernardini led off, with 1 out in the 2nd inning, got a base hit. Other than that, 16 straight retired by Jake Peavy.
And Peavy got into trouble in the very first inning when he gave up back-to-back singles. One was a bunt hit and then retired the side. That was the closest the Nationals have scored. 1-0 pitch and a foul ball. And the first base umpire, Greg Gibson, right down there to see that it went foul. And the count is 1-1 to Pudge Rodriguez. Well, today's MLB on Fox Tune In to Win bonus question is, how many times will a player strike out in the 8th inning? We are in the bottom of the 7th right now, and to answer, visit foxsports.com/tunein. And the roller to shortstop, and Alexi Ramirez makes it. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Make your prediction before the final out. of the seventh inning. Nationals 1-0. Mark Kotsay, Andrew Jones, and Carlos Quentin to face Sean Burnett, the second pitcher of the day for the White Sox. 1-0 to Kotsay, who is 0 for 3 today.
Yeah, Burnett starting his second inning. He just hit Pierre last inning and retired the other 3 batters.
2-0 to Kotsay as the White Sox looking to get some breathing room here. Last night's game, no breathing room at all. The White Sox winning, getting a run in the top of the 11th inning and holding on to win 2-1. That pitch is down low, and Burnett falls behind 3-0 to the leadoff hitter. Ball 4, and that is the first walk of the game. We have had no bases on balls till right now, and time now for a DirecTV game break. And it's the Red Sox against the Dodgers. Manny Ramirez returning to Fenway Park in Boston. And there he is, getting a single off of Tim Wakefield in the top of the second inning. Eventually would score on Garrett Anderson's single. And then going deep, a solo home run, his 8th of the year off of Tim Wakefield. 4-2 the score. And Victor Martinez had hit a home run with a man on. And the Dodgers and the Red Sox battling. And a pitching change made as Burnett will leave the game and Miguel Batista will come running in from the bullpen. We'll be right back. verbiage in there with Sam Holbrook, not happy with the way he's called balls and strikes today. His team is on the short end of a 1-0 game, and Holbrook standing firm here. And here they are.
Yeah, Dick, I think what we've heard over the last couple innings, a lot of, talking in the dugout over to Holbrook, and it was Riggleman that finally came out and said, listen, you know what, I don't like your strike zone, and I'm sure he had some other words for him, and he ended up getting tossed out right there as the pitching change was made. Miguel Batista has come in, the 39-year-old Dominican, in his 16th year, first year with the Nationals. He actually pitched for the Expos. They used to be the Nationals back in 1998 to 2000, but Batista, a journeyman. Been around a long time. Andrew Jones takes a call strike. Jones is 1 for 3 with a single, making his 25th appearance of the year. Yeah, Batista came to spring training as a kind of signed a minor league contract just to try to keep his career going. Made the ball club out of spring training. He's always had a very good arm, pretty healthy arm. 39 years old, keeps himself in great shape. Arcotse with the lead at first base. Arcotse not really a threat to run. 1 stolen base in 2 attempts. Rodriguez, he kind of shuts down that running game because of that great arm he's always had. Batista has good movement on his fastball, still able to get that fastball in the low 90s. You saw that sharp slider right there that Jones swung through. He'll mix in a curveball and a split finger. Back to that hard slider. Came up with the Pittsburgh Pirates back in 1992. Clarence, now the interim manager for Jim Riggleman, got tossed from the game. And a shot to left field. Willingham is there to make the catch. And Jones is retired for out number 1. Going back to first is Mark Kotze. And that will bring to the plate Carlos Quentin, who has the only RBI in the game, and that was in the 4th inning with Vizquel at second base. Here's Carlos Quentin with a sharp base hit to left field, driving in his 37th of the year as Omar Vizquel scores, and that has been the only tally today as Quentin, 1 for 3, comes to the plate with a runner at first base facing Miguel Batista, who was a member of the world champion Arizona Diamondbacks back in 2001. First pitch, ball 1. Yeah, that was good 2-out hitting by Quentin right there in that 4th inning, picking up the RBI. Brzezinski followed with a base hit, but then Martin was able to strike out Ramirez to end that 4th inning. Chance for the White Sox again here in the 8th. Foul tipped into the glove of Pudge Rodriguez, 1-1. White Sox have won 8 out of 10 in interleague play. And the Nationals just about the reverse, 3-7 coming into today's game. Since 2008, the White Sox are 17-8 in National League parks. So they've had very good success away from their stadium during interleague play. Time was called, and this has been a point of contention lately, Bert, when the batter at the last second calls a timeout, in this case Carlos Quentin, and it was not allowed in the game recently. Yeah, there were a lot of umpires that Angel Hernandez one time didn't give timeout to a hitter that wanted time. I saw with Denard Span a couple times. Base hit to center field, and Marcotte will stop at second. Quentin gets his second hit of the ball game. And it brings to the plate A.J. Pierzynski, who's 3 for 3. All singles. Yeah, 9 hits for the White Sox, all of them singles here. There's not been an extra base hit in the ball game. With the Nationals with 3 hits, all singles. So here's Pierzynski. And 300 hitter last year, his best with the White Sox, and Kotze at second, Carlos Quentin at first with 1 out.
Brzezinski is 3 for 15, just the 200 average against Batista, and he takes down low for ball one.
AJ, again, he's always been a very good hitter. Came up with the Twins back in 1998. Made the All-Star team for the Twins in the American League All-Star game in 2002. And then with the White Sox back in 2006 made the All-Star team for the White Sox.
With 2 runners on and 1 out, here's the 1-0 pitch and a comeback hit over to Desmond. Going to first for the double play to end the inning. 1-6-3 double play, the first double play of the game, and it remains 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the inning. Lawn and Garden Crew, and by DirecTV. Watch and record in multiple rooms with just one DVR.
Well, great ball game here.
Jake
White Sox lead, 1-0.
And Roger robbed of a base hit by Alexei Ramirez. A sensational catch. A great play by Ramirez on a hard hit ball to the opposite field by Bernardino for out number 1.
Well, again, Ramirez at 6'2", about 170, and he leaves the ground right here and makes a great catch. And that keeps the 18 now straight hitters retired in order by Jake Peavy in order. Wow, what an outstanding catch. We've seen some nice defensive plays by the Chicago White Sox.
Yes, we have. A couple by the Nationals as well. Here's Ian Desmond. And Desmond takes a call strike. And in the bullpen, Tyler Walker is working for the Nationals, a right-hander. And Peavy sailing along here. And Desmond takes a ball 1-1. He has flied out and struck out looking. Meanwhile, Willie Harris is on deck for the Nationals. Harris, who was a member of the White Sox World Champions in 05. And there's a shot up the middle, backhanded by Beckham. The jump throw to first is in time. So 2 sparkling plays, although Ramirez was really sensational by the middle infielders. And there are 2 down for the Nationals in the 8th.
You know why there's good plays? Because Peavy's attacking the strike zone. The defense is ready every pitch. It's not ball 1, ball 2, ball 3. And you start playing on your heels. 83 pitches, 61 have been strikes. And when you're out there throwing strikes, you're going to have better defense behind you. So 7 2/3 innings so far, no walks, 6 strikeouts for Jake Peavy, and he's retired 19 straight.
And Willie Harris, who is 4 for 19 as a pinch hitter, fouls off the first pitch for strike one. He has knocked in 5 runs. So Willie Harris batting for the pitcher, Miguel Batista, here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Harris, 31 years old, has been with now 5 major league teams. Mentioned the White Sox. He was the 4th outfielder on that World Championship club. Peavy trying to retire him, and a grounder foul, and once again is ahead of the hitter. No balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Harris came up with the Oakland Baltimore Orioles in 2001. 4 seasons with the White Sox, then the Red Sox, then the Braves, now in his 3rd season with the Nationals.
And here's the 0-2 pitch. 1-2 now to Harris, the pinch hitter. There's Tyler Walker throwing in the bullpen. The Nationals will present their 4th pitcher of the game when the White Sox come up in the top of the 9th. 1-0 to score. Carlos Quentin's RBI single back in the 4th, the only run in the game. There's the 1-2 pitch, and again it's in the dirt. Evens the count.
Back at the left arm of A.J. Brzezinski. Tried to block that ball with 2 strikes, of course. That catcher have to have faith that if you throw that ball right near home plate, your catcher's going to use some part of his body to stop it. It looked like he used his left arm right there to stop that one.
Matt Capps has joined Walker in the Nationals bullpen just in case the Nationals take the lead. Matt Capps has been the closer for Jim Riggleman as the pitch is outside. So after getting ahead of the pinch hitter, 2 strikes, the count is run full.
That's the first 3-ball count since the 1st inning for Jake Peavy. Only his 3rd 3-ball count in the ballgame.
Fly ball, playable. And coming over is the center fielder Andrew Jones. 20 straight set down by Jake Peavy as the White Sox coming up in the 9th with a 1-0 lead. Third of the order, Alexei Ramirez, who made a sensational catch on a line drive last inning and takes ball 1. He's 0 for 3, having struck out twice. Ramirez, Gordon Beckham, and Jake Peavy will come up and bat. No activity in the White Sox bullpen, so Peavy, it seems, will be coming out to try to wrap it up, try to get a shutout, and a complete game win for Chicago.
You don't get those too often, so Peavy, very good pitch count. Tyler Walker now on the mound for the Nationals, making his 24th appearance. Very good, 3.67 ERA. His first season with the Nationals. Last year, pitched for the Phillies.
San Francisco native is a 260-pound right-hander, and there's the fastball. 2-1 the count to Ramirez. He was signed as a free agent in January, spent 5 years with the Giants, and was their closer in 05. He had 23 saves that year. So the 34-year-old right-hander trying to keep the White Sox to their 1 run. Gets it over for the strike. 2-2.
You know, looking at Walker, I think of Troy Percival, because he basically came up through the system the way that Troy Percival did. He originally signed by the Mets basically as a catcher-pitcher type. What are we going to do with him? Wasn't much of an offensive hitter, so they made him a pitcher. He's got a great arm.
And making the catch in right field is Roger Bernardina for out number 1 here in the top of the 9th. And time now for a DirecTV game break. Phillies and the Twins. 3-3 score. Wilson Valdez with a solo homer off of Kevin Slowey. 4-3 the Phillies lead. And then Ryan Howard in the bottom of the second with the score 5-3. A 2-run homer. Placido Polanco scores in front of him off of Kevin Slowey again. And the Phillies against the Twins in your club. Getting it on again once again.
They beat him up last night 9-5 when Howard went 4 for 4 with a couple home runs, a triple and a double.
So the Phillies coming alive at the plate. The only way to watch every MLB game in HD, call 1-800-DIRECT-TV. 1 out, 0-1 the count to Gordon Beckham. And there's strike 2.
I'll tell you what, right now, Dick, that right field, we saw Bernardini come in and make that nice catch off that line drive out by Ramirez, but that's a tough position to play right now as that sun is setting. You see Bernardini really the only one in the sunshine where it's going to really bother him.
Check swing. And strike 3. Beckham goes down for the 4th time today. And they're at 2 down, and Jake Peavy coming out. And here is Jake Peavy with 2 out here in the 9th inning. And if you're looking ahead, it'll be the top of the order for the Nationals. Nyjer Morgan and Christian Guzman and Ryan Zimmerman to face Peavy in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Well, Peavy pitching 8 shutout innings. He also has a base hit in his second at bat in the 5th. Got a base hit.
Strike 1 to Peavy.
Walker starts him off for the breaking ball. Peavy kind of smiling.
Tyler Walker, the 4th pitcher of the day. J.D. Martin worked 6 innings. Pitched well, gave up only 1 run on 8 hits. But it's been the only run in the ballgame. Striking out 6, didn't walk anyone as he threw 97 pitches. Sean Burnett, Miguel Batista, and now Tyler Walker.
Peavy laughing at the guys on the bench who give him a hard time with those swings that he's had.
2 down, 2 strikes, nobody on base. White Sox in the 9th inning. There's a ball. The Washington Nationals, who have dropped 4 in a row. Strike 3, and that'll do it. 2 strikeouts, 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Last opportunity for the Nationals. Baseball presented by Chevrolet. And the Nationals batting in the bottom of the ninth inning against Jake Peavy. Nyjer Morgan takes ball one. Morgan is 1 for 3 with a single, and Jake Peavy 3 outs away from his first shutout since August of 2005. And there's the pitch down low, 2-0. Peavy had 3 shutouts that season, and his last shutout was against the Houston Astros. So it'll be Morgan, Guzman, and Zimmerman here in the bottom of the ninth inning. And now it's 3-0 to Morgan, the leadoff hitter. And a threat to run if he gets on.
Well, Peavy making his 219th career start. You can see the 7 career complete games, 3 of them shutouts.
Ball strike, 3 balls and a strike. And Ozzie Guillen, who has been basking in tremendous pitching performances by his starting core, lately gets another one today. Ball 4, and that will end a string of 20 consecutive batters set down by Peavy, and his first walk of the game. Major League Baseball and People Magazine are recognizing individuals who make a difference in their community. Go to peopleallstars.com. Vote for your favorite everyday all-star who could represent your club and be honored at the 2010 All-Star Game in Anaheim, July 13th on Fox. And that is a lot of fun and a great honor.
It really is, and you know they will put a beautiful facility together, All-Star Game in Anaheim.
Christian Guzman, 1 for 3 with a bunt single. And Vizquel is playing well in at third base in the throw to first base.
I mean, they're looking bunt right here. Remember, Guzman in the first inning took the ball with them down that first baseline. Marcotte, a left-handed thrower, so he'll have to stay at that bag at first base until that ball's delivered home.
And there's the fastball up and taking the bat away from the possible bunt. 1 ball and no strikes, so J.J. Brooks is up now throwing in the bullpen for the White Sox, and speed at the plate and at first base. Nyjer Morgan with 14 stolen bases, tied for 5th in the National League. Zimmerman is on deck. White Sox, as Bert Blyleven mentioned, looking for the bunt, squaring around, and there's the bunt, but it's foul. And that will even the count at 1-1. Jake Peavy had retired 20 in a row before Morgan's leadoff walk here in the ninth inning. And the last batter to reach base was Roger Bernardina with his single with 1 out back in the second inning. So what a string of great pitching innings for Peavy today.
Yeah, it really has been. Now, the Nationals really have 2 things they can do right here because, you know, Morgan at first base, good stolen base. If he gets a good jump right here, A.J. Pierzynski's really had a tough time throwing out runners. Just 5 of 33. So, you know, they could put the hit and run on, or they could bunt again to try to get Morgan in the scoring position.
Nationals looking to get the tying run in scoring position. Runner doesn't go, and there's a bunt down the first base line. It's going to stay fair. The throw to first in time. Kotze with a quick pickup and throw to first base as Morgan goes to second. It's a perfect sacrifice, but the Nationals have the tying run in scoring position with 1 out.
You know, a lot of times you'll see this ball go foul, but watch this ball right here. It actually goes back into fair territory, and a quick turnaround by Kotze. What a great play.
And Ryan Zimmerman coming up. Beckham was covering as the pitcher Peavy was over there as well. So here is Ryan Zimmerman, who has struck out 3 times today, but you may say he's due against Peavy. Zimmerman is now 3 for 13 in his career against Jake Peavy.
Yeah, everything has basically been away to Zimmerman. Watch A.J. Pierzynski, the catcher, move outer half of the plate.
Strike 1.
And that ball was supposed to be away. That's that 2-seamer just went back over the plate, and Peavy gets ahead in the count.
Well, they got the heavy hitters here for the Nationals with Zimmerman up and Adam Dung on deck. And if anyone gets going after that, it's Josh Willingham. Big cut of the miss on a fastball. And Peavy is in hitter Ryan, or Zimmerman that is, 2 strikes.
Now that fastball didn't have the same tail that the first one had. Watch this, working outer half of the plate. And Peavy trying to find a little extra right there, pumping up. That pitch clocked at 92.
And the 100th pitch from Jake Peavy upcoming here with the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Morgan with the lead at second. Fastball, strike 3, and there are 2 down.
Ryan Zimmerman has struck out 4 times against Jake Peavy in this ball game. Well, Peavy picking up a big strikeout, his 7th strikeout of the ball game.
And Ozzie Guillen going to the mound and just checking with Peavy as we see this pitch sequence.
That's a quick sequence right here. Strike 1, strike 2, swinging, and then strike 3. Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
And Ozzie went out to the mound to say, can you get this last guy?
Well, be very careful with this guy. What do you want to do? They're going to go ahead and walk him. They put the winning run on because they don't want to make a mistake right here to Adam Dunn,
who has 16 home runs, 0 for 3, took a called third strike in his last at-bat in the 7th inning. And so they're going to walk Dunn. And the tying run is at second base. And now the winning run is at first and pitched to Josh Willingham. Willingham 0 for 3 today. And here comes ball 4.
Let's see if they pinch run for Adam Dunn right here.
Yes, they will.
Adam Kennedy looks like he's coming out off the bench.
So Dunn gets high fives as he gets into the dugout. Adam Kennedy, the pinch runner at first, with 2 down. And this game coming down to the very end here is Peavy facing Josh Willingham, who was 0 for 7 in his career against Jake. One to nothing, the White Sox lead. Nationals staging an uprising here in the bottom of the 9th inning. 2 on and 2 out. Willingham takes up high, ball 1. 12 homers and 40 runs batted in for Josh Willingham. It's 1-1.
You almost hear him grunt up here. He's just trying to find everything he can what's left in that tank and unload it right here. Peavy, look at that right there. I mean, if that shoulder is sore, I want one of those shoulders. You know, when he had that MRI, it was probably just a relief knowing that, hey, there's no structural damage. Just a little soreness through medication, cut down that inflammation. What an outing right here today by Jake Peavy. In giving it all he's got. Pitch up a little bit.
So Ozzie Guillen yesterday told the media that I wanted to put him on the disabled list. And he said he could go. And has he ever? 2 balls and a strike with 2 out. And the pitch is popped up to the infield. And this should do it. Gordon Beckham calls for it and makes the catch, and the ball game is over. And Jake Peavy, with his 4th career shutout, goes the distance and beats the Washington Nationals 1-0.
An old-fashioned pitching duel here today, and won by Jake Peavy. Tell you what, J.D. Martin pitched outstanding too. Great ball game by both these teams.
And Carlos Quentin's RBI single back in the 4th inning. The only scoring in the game, and Peavy, who retired 20 in a row, coming into the 9th inning, had the tying run at second, the winning run at first, and got Josh Willingham on a pop-up after Adam Dunn was walked intentionally. So the White Sox now have won 5 in a row, and that's their longest winning streak of the year. They're now 1 game under 500 at 33-34. And for the Nationals, they have now lost 5 in a row and dropped to 31-38. And Bert Blyleven and I will wrap things